Hey everyone, welcome back to Pokemon Reborn. So last time we kind of explored the Augate Circus. We didn't really explore it fully, and today we're going to finish exploring it a little bit. Only a little bit because there's still so much we have to do here. Or rather, there's actually only two things. But firstly, okay, that Donphan doesn't need to move, but we need to move over here to the gate to Augate City. And upstairs you'll find this clown. He'll give you a riddle, and basically the solution for this riddle is a Stunfisk, which we caught ahead of time. You can't get a Stunfisk otherwise if you did not catch this ahead of time before you got locked into the circus. I literally named mine Get Traded because I knew what was going to happen, and you can trade it for a Vuplix, a normal Vuplix actually, which may or may not help you later. So over here, I'm actually... Is this the cotton candy salesman? Oh, I actually have some. Okay, that's good. We're now going to be heading over to the other gate, and there should be a boy right here. So he's going to just feed you lies to make you pity him and ask for cotton candy. Now he's going to ask for a balloon. Oh, that's what I was supposed to grab. So I believe the balloon salesman should be over here. They're really cheap, so you can just buy one and come all the way back over here. So now he's going to ask for a Pokédoll. So you could go to the high-rise striker and try to get this, but I'd rather just have a Pokédoll that I bought from the department store ahead of time and give it to him. And he's gonna ask for ice cream at this point. Thankfully his mother will come in here and she will be embarrassed, absolutely embarrassed by this, and she will give you a department store sticker for your trouble, which we can't even use. So realistically, the only reason you would do this right now is just to get it out of your way. That way you don't forget about it later, because you can come back to it. So now that that's taken care of, we can get on with some story. So you want to talk to this lady over here, that's the ringmaster, and then we should come down to the high striker and you'll find Samson over here, and you want to talk to him again. Then you want to go all the way to the front of the circus tent and talk to Samson here. And we can finally enter. So over here we will find Aya, and she'll wake and we'll have a little happy reunion. And I believe we can move on, actually. I hope so. So over here is actually a salesman, and he will sell you a powder vial. Once you buy this, you don't have to buy it again, and you can't buy it again, thankfully. And he'll give you a little bit of advice, but we don't really need that. We don't really want that. We're just going to move on to Route 2. So here in Route 2, we actually need to encounter a certain Pokemon for our next gym badge. We're kind of getting to the point where we need to start swapping our team out again, and it's much more true in the later game. So what we're going to be looking for is a Hawlucha, and they're actually pretty common. You need to set the time to morning, so not the map, I don't want the map. So something like 0809 is pretty good. You know, when you see that there's like this orange glow on your screen pretty much in your game, then you'll know it's morning and you have a pretty good chance of finding that Hawlucha. If you want to be picky, you can try to find one that has the Unburden ability, but we're actually going to find an ability capsule later on, so that doesn't really matter too terribly much. Anyways, I'm going to try and clear out as many trainers as I possibly can so I don't have to deal with them later. Alright, so I cleared as many trainers as I possibly could at the moment, and I think it's time to actually work on the puzzles here. I'm not really too happy about that because that means there's still some trainer battles that I'm going to have to cut out later, but it kind of is what it is. So actually, instead of working on the puzzle immediately, I think I want to go get some rage powder. Basically, once you do this puzzle, you're never going to want to actually undo this puzzle. So I recommend that you actually capture a Crustle before you actually start doing the puzzle. Honestly, Crustle actually has a pretty good use as well. If you haven't caught any Pokemon that can actually naturally learn Stealth Rock, Crustle is one of the few Pokemon that actually naturally learns it. And that could kind of come in handy later. Not immediately right now, but later. So first off, we want to get this Crustle out of here. We want to put it to sleep, and we want to start moving it. I actually have a couple of graphics in the description below of how exactly you're supposed to move the Crustle. Like, it shows the exact path and everything. So if you don't feel like listening to me or anything like that, then you can go ahead and look at those, and it's pretty clear. So your goal is to put these Crustals to sleep, and you actually want to guide them all the way over to these little holes in the ground. Something else of importance is that the unstable rocks, such as the one to the left of me, if you jump on them, you will actually lose whatever powder you're holding, so you don't really want to do that. And that might have been a mistake. No, we're good. So actually I want to go over here and grab an item first. So if you come over this way, you can find a free Link Stone, which is really nice, but what we're actually going to be doing is heading over this way. If you have the speed up on, be very careful. You don't want to go forward. Instead, you want to go over this way and around. So now we want to put this Crustle to sleep as well. And we're actually doing the northern puzzle. There should be another diagram in the description that shows what to do for the southern puzzle. We'll be taking care of that as well. But the puzzle we're working on currently, you don't actually have to do it. It's not for story purposes at all. So I'm going to put that Crustle in that hole right there. And now we actually need to go get more sleep powder. And I messed that up. I'm trying to be really quick here, but in all actuality, sometimes being too fast just makes you make more mistakes. So over here is a ability capsule, and over here can get a little bit confusing, but what you're supposed to do is come all the way over here, put this Crustle to sleep, and move it to the side. So this one is a little bit tricky, but what we're supposed to do is come over here, jump down again, and cross back over here. And we want to cross over to sort of the starting point, and we want to push that Crustle down. Next, we have to come up over here and jump back over here, so we can push the Crustle to the side, and then push the Crustle downward. So that's actually a lot, and I think this is the easiest way to get back over here. Maybe not. So next, instead of getting off over there, we want to come all the way over here. I'm going to spray some repel really quickly. Alright, that's taken care of, and we want to jump over this Crustle that we've already pushed over here, and we want to move over here and push this Crustle over, down a little bit, and up. And push it all the way up there. So now we've basically cleared a way to the mountain. And again, we can't do anything there, but it's kind of nice because you can get a few items, and there's one more trainer up there that you can battle for experience. Because it's really much easier to battle some of these trainers rather than actually having to grind on wild Pokemon, or even grind on Indra the Clown. So over here is our next stop. So we definitely have to come down here. And once we're down here, we need to go through... Sure, I'll use another repel. there, and we have to come all the way down here. So I think this part might give some people trouble, but not most people. And we basically have to zigzag our way all the way down to this spot over here where we can get down onto the ground. So again, I have a diagram for the southern side, which is what we're going to be working on right now, and let me see if I can actually pull it up for myself as well. Also, don't worry about the items that are up here on this cliff to the right. You can't actually get up there. So I'm going to put that Crustle to sleep, and I'm just going to start moving it all the way over here. I'm going to move it down one and continue to move it all the way over here again. I'm going to move it 2 over, 1 down, and push it. Yeah, sure. Push it all the way into that hole there. So that's 1 Crustle down. And there's actually something that I want to get over here before we continue to move on. So if you come down over here, and you'll jump on that unstable rock and lose your powders. But if you come down all the way over here, you can find the field readout for the rocky field. We've already battled on this a couple times, and you would be battling on it over here. However, I don't really want to talk about it yet. It hasn't really made its debut for gym battle yet, and there is definitely going to be one. So for now, we want to backtrack all the way over here, run down here, jump on the Crustle, and we can move over to the next section. So this section can be pretty annoying, actually. I'm trying to think of the best way to really handle this, and I kind of can't think of it. I think I'm going to work on the Crustle for the left and right sides first. So I'm going to be moving all the way up over here. And there are some spores over here, so you can grab them. And there's a free firestone over there, actually. So I'm going to make this Crustle come out of its shell over here. I'm going to put it to sleep, and we're going to move it down over here and push it off this cliff. Then we're going to push it over a little bit, and then back down. And then again down another cliff. So that's 1 Crustle down. Next we want to move to the other side, I think, and we have to do this right here. So you want to get some sleep powder right there, and we want to make this Crustle over here come out, put it to sleep, and basically push it down another cliff. There's really not much to say about this part. This is just pushing the Crustle in random directions until you get them stuck. So finally we're down to 1 last Crustle. And it should be the Crustle that's right over here. You want to put it to sleep and move it over here. There is a small space between the Crustle and the stepping stone, so you want to push it down over here. Push it over here, push it down. Again, it looks like there's no space for you to go in between here, but there actually is. So the graphics really aren't too terribly clear. But once you get it to this point, you can just push it down mindlessly. You don't have to really be careful at all. And do I want to push it over? Okay, you want to push it over to the right. So once you push it down there, I believe we actually, yeah, we have to get up there, right? And I'm just going to continue to waste repels. So once you hit that stone, you'll lose all your powders, but it doesn't even matter. The Crustle is still asleep. It's just down there. And again, as you can see the rock climb stones that we won't have access to for a very, very, very long time. And there is also a trainer here. So that should be the last trainer that we actually encounter. So next I want to hop over that Crustle and push this one over a couple times. Push it down, push it back over, and then just push it down off this cliff. Now we can move on over to the base here, the ground here, and basically push this Crustle in where it belongs. This puzzle can be a little bit confusing, honestly, mainly because it doesn't always look like there's space for you to walk in some spots where there actually is. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the items that I can as we're moving over, and actually you can kind of see that there is a cave down there. And I'm not going to be doing anything with that cave for the moment. So as we continue to move over here, there's a ton of items over here on the beach. I'll probably get those later. But if we move up over here, we will find the Fior Mansion. Not sure if that's how you say it. Actually, I think it might be pronounced Fiori. I'm not sure. But regardless of that, we are here, and there's actually something we want to grab. But first, you'll actually notice that this house is a complete mess. I'm not even going to mention what is on the left-hand side of that couch there, but you get the idea. There's actually Hardy up there. You could talk to him if you want. Over here, we will find a field readout for the water surface. I would recommend getting that now. Its debut gym battle hasn't happened yet, and there's still a while to go before it actually does happen, but, you know, we will be having some battles on it, so might as well. Over here is Amaria? I don't even know. Maria, I think that's how you say it. But anyways, you'll have a cutscene once you talk to her. Titania will come down and she will cleanse the couch from their messy living habits. And over here we can finally talk to Hardy. And Titania will come up and just slap the heck out of him, and he will move on. So we'll have another cutscene down here, and this should be the point where I believe we're not given Surf, but we're given the gym battle pass for the Agate gym leaders. So at this point, we basically need to backtrack all the way to the Agate circus, and it'll be time to battle the first of their gym leaders. I'm actually here at the circus, and we could go ahead and battle Samsung, but unfortunately those trainers out on Route 2, they don't really give you enough experience. This is one of the first times where we're actually really going to have to train up. You know, when I made this playthrough, I really focused on a team that you didn't have to constantly switch out party members and train up. Or at the part of the game where you can no longer really keep playing casually like that. So over here, like I mentioned last part, is Indra the Clown, and I'll have a description to the wiki showing all of Indra's teams, and they are all pretty competitive. He has items on some of them, and some of them he just doesn't, but I'm pretty sure they're all IV'd and EV'd correctly. So he can be pretty difficult to beat. But what you're mainly interested in, and there's two ways of really training here. One, if you're training your Hawlucha, there's multiple normal type Pokemon here, and you can really take advantage of them. So you could just give your Hawlucha the lucky egg and just go to town. And also something I would recommend is teach your Hawlucha Flying Press. It's basically simultaneously a flying type and a fighting type move, and he has two Pokemon in Beware and a Sawsbuck that both are 4 times weak to it. So basically you could take advantage of all his normal types and all the other types that are weak to fighting and slowly grind your Hawlucha up with like a lucky egg, because it's strong enough that you can actually try and train it here. Or what you could do is you could save and you could soft reset until, and I'm not going to battle him right now, nope. But you can soft reset until he says he spins pink. But anyways, Indra's pink team consists of a Musharna, a Beware, and a Blissey, and that Blissey gives tons of experience. And that Beware, again, is 4 times weak to your flying press, so you can take advantage of that very, very easily. But anyways, you'll get money for defeating him, and you'll also get a shard that kind of matches the color of the team that he uses. Kind of. I also recommend that you save before battling him because he could sometimes actually defeat you. His teams aren't anything to kind of sniff at. They're very, very strong. It's not something that I could say that's very comfortable. You know, you just put on a movie and just not pay attention as you grind away. It's not something like that. You do kind of have to pay attention when you're fighting Indra, unless you're like soft resetting for the Blissey team. So anyways, with that out of the way, I'm going to train on my own and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Alright, we're back. That was a lot of grinding. I didn't appreciate any of it. And it's time for a team update. By the way, I also use the move tutor a lot. And if you're wondering how can you actually get heart scales, the solution is pretty simple. You actually needed to complete the northern Crustle puzzle and gain access to Amatrine Mountain. And there you would just basically fish with a good rod and hope that you can find some love disc and steal heart scales from them. So on with the team update. This is my team's levels right now. Poor Kling Kling did not gain any kind of levels at all. But everybody else leveled up quite a bit. I did try to level up Meowstic a little bit more. And I did change some of the moves around as well. So Infernape finally no longer has Taunt, instead it has Acrobatics, which is pretty good for us. And I also changed the item. I'm giving it a Synthetic Seed. You know, I said at some point that I was collecting way too many seeds and I was not using them. I mean, sure, you could sell them, but I'd rather not. I'd rather keep them. They're very unique, and I do want to show them off at some point. So nothing changed for Kling Kling. Poor Kling Kling is basically fodder at this point in the game. It may get some use later on, it may not. We'll have to see about that. Hawlucha over here leveled up a lot. I got it at level 53. It too is holding a Synthetic Seed. It has the ability Unburden. Oh my god, that nature is awful. I forgot about that. I gave it the moves Detect, High Jump, or it already comes with High Jump Kick. But I gave it Flying Press and I gave it Detect, and it learned Sword Stance at level 60. Finally, here is my Meowstic over here, and it's still holding the Light Clay, but it now has Yawn. Okay, so this is actually an egg move, but with a certain mod, with one of the mods that I mentioned in the past, you can actually teach egg moves with the move tutor, as far as I know. So I really, really need this Yawn. And that's basically it. It's time to go in there and challenge our first Agate Circus gym leader. Alright, so before we actually deal with our gym leader, you can actually talk to Terra over here and you'll get a little bit of text. You can talk to Aya and these three over here. You can talk to Zeal over here. And you'll get a little bit of a humor text if you really, really want that. It doesn't really accomplish anything, but what you really want to do is you want to talk to Samson. He will ask you if you want to challenge him, and afterwards you can talk to him and he will give you the opportunity to challenge him. So I recommend you save right in front of him. But before we actually challenge him, we have so much to talk about. We're going to be fighting in the big top arena. And there's a lot of effects. I'm going to try to separate the effects out into what's necessary for you to know on the second time that you actually fight on that arena. And so forth. So that you only really... you're not spoiled, basically. So I guess the first thing, and you definitely need to know this for this battle, is high striker attacks. Basically, high striker attacks will deal a random amount of damage between half and 3 times. Pokemon with boosted attack or Pokemon with sheer force, huge power, pure power, and guts will roll higher amounts. And lower attack will actually make them roll lower amounts. So high striker attacks are basically all physical fighting type moves and literally everything after that. So strength, wood hammer, dual chop, heat crash, sky drop, Bulldoze, Ice Crash, Body Slam, Stomp, Giga Impact, Pound. I don't know why that's there. It's like 40 base power. Smackdown, Iron Tail, Meteor Mash, Grab Hammer, Dragon Rush, Bounce, Slam, Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Magnitude, Brutal Swing, Stomping Tantrum, High Horsepower, Ice Hammer, Dragon Hammer, and Continental Crush, which obviously you can't use right now because that's a Z move. So another... Let's see, what else? Well, the ability Dancer boosts speed and special attack every time a dance move is performed on its own turn, which is interesting. So if you're using like an Oricorio, you could get away with that, I guess. Other things to note are that sound-based moves and these moves such as Power Whip, Vine Whip, Fiery Dance, Pedal Dance, Fly, Acrobatics, Revelation Dance, Fire Lash, and First Impression all get a 1.5 base power increase. Which is interesting, but you kind of get the idea. It's a circus, and these are kind of circusy moves. Another thing to note is that Dragon Dance, Quiver Dance, Swords Dance, and Feather Dance all have amplified stat changes. So, some of these are relevant. Swords Dance is definitely relevant here. You might be using Quiver Dance here, you might be Dragon Dance. I wouldn't think you'd be using Feather Dance, but you never know. The only other thing to really note would be the other moves that have effects here. So Rain Dance will last 8 turns. Acrobatics always deals double damage. It doesn't matter if you're holding an item or not. Heyday deals double damage and gives a bigger payout. You know, it's not like you're going to use that here or farm money here, but why not? Sing's base accuracy becomes 100. Encore lasts for twice as long. Belly Drum increases defense and special defense by 1 stage each. Spotlight will raise the attack and special attack of both its user and the target. Nature Power becomes Acrobatics, and Secret Power may lower special defense, and Camouflage will turn you into a normal type, which you don't want to do for this gym. This is a fighting gym. You don't want to do that. And finally, the Seed. The Synthetic Seed will boost your attack, and it applies Helping Hand to the user. Helping Hand is basically like plus 50% attack, if I recall correctly. That was a mouthful. And I may have spoiled some of it for the later battles to come, but, you know, why not? Alright, so I think we're finally ready to battle Samson. I have a bit of a strategy going for Samson here, but it's not really consistent. Then again, the High Striker is a little bit of a RNG, or luck. So I'm just going to be button through all the text here, and here is Samson. So I'm going to get that boost off for my Infernape from the Synthetic Seed. He's going to start off with his Hariyama. It has Guts, it has the Rocky Helmet, it has Heavy Slam, Smackdown, Brick Break, and Knockoff. So if you're thinking about starting with screens, you don't want to do that, he's just going to break them. In fact, he has like 4 Pokemon on his team that can break your screens if you're thinking about setting them up. So anyways, I'm going to use my Acrobatics here, and I'm going to knock this Hariyama out. And that's all you're going to see from my Infernape for the most part. So because I started with my Infernape, he's going to want to send out his Hawlucha. And this is my opportunity to set up screens here. His Hawlucha has the ability Unburden, it has a Synthetic Seed, so it got the attack and the Helping Hand boost. But its Unburden ability will also give it it doubles its speed basically because it used up its item. Hawlucha has the moves Roost, Flying Press, Acrobatics, and Swords Dance. It's very dangerous. I'm going to set up Reflect right here because he doesn't have anything that can break my screens out right now. And I will survive that just barely. And I'm going to use Yawn so I can put this to sleep in 1 turn, hopefully. Hopefully. Now I'm going to send out my Hawlucha, my own Hawlucha, which has Unburden, and it also has a Synthetic Seed. I'm gonna be honest here, the sleep tactic is absolutely necessary. This Hawlucha, his Hawlucha is a monster. I believe it has pretty sure it has max IVs for certain. So it doesn't matter what you do if you catch your own Hawlucha. It doesn't matter if you get it to like level 70, unless you got lucky and got like a 31 IV'd Hawlucha, you're not going to outspeed his Hawlucha. You know, that's all there is to it. You know, I've experimented before. I've leveled my own Hawlucha up to like level 70 to see if the extra levels would give it the boost that it needs to outspeed his Hawlucha. And when I say that, I don't mean with my current Hawlucha, because my current Hawlucha has a negative speed nature, but you get the idea. Outspeeding his Hawlucha, even with your own, is very, very difficult. So I'm going to use Detect here so I can stall a turn for his own Hawlucha to fall asleep. The only other option, if you don't want to grab a hard scale to get your Hawlucha the move Detect, would be to take like a really, really weak Pokemon, level 1, throw it out there and let it get knocked out. So next I want to use Sword Stance right here, just to make sure that everything goes well. You know, if you don't use Sword Stance, then you're basically leaving this up to the high striker chance, and you don't want to do that. So now I have to hope his Hawlucha is still asleep, and Flying Press it. And that should be a knockout right there. There we go. So now he's going to send out his Mienshao. It has the ability Regenerator, it's holding a Life Orb, it has Acrobatics, U-Turn, Brick Break, and Poison Jab. So I should be able to knock this out even with a weak, because of my Sword Stance. Now is going to come out his Blaziken. This Blaziken has Speed Boost, has a Muzzle Band, it has Bounce, Protect, Brick Break, and Blaze Kick. So he might try to protect and stall out and get some Speed Boost, but that's not going to make him faster than my Hawlucha. Now is going to come out his Conkeldurr. This is his ace, and you can clearly see that. It's level 71. It's holding a Synthetic Seed, and it has the ability Guts, which again doesn't really come into play. It has Drain Punch, Poison Jab, Knock Off, and Bulk Up. I should be able to knock this out in one hit. There we go. My Hawlucha even gained a level from this, even though I probably won't be using Hawlucha after this. So now his Lucario is going to come out. Has the ability Steadfast, so you don't want to flinch this thing or else it will get a speed boost, but it's also holding a Focus Sash. I feel like this gets a lot of people because they learn that the Lucario is holding a Focus Sash, so they try to use something like Fake Out to get rid of the Focus Sash, and they just give it a speed boost basically. It has the moves Sword Stance, Extreme Speed, Brick Break, and Meteor Mash. So I'm just going to High Jump Kick this and... Ouch, I missed! Okay, I guess he's going to knock out my Hawlucha here. So this does kind of make this a little bit interesting here. I'm going to go ahead and... Do I want to send out my Kling Kling? Yeah, he has Brick Break. I might live this and I might not. All I really want to do right now is break his Focus Sash. That's all I really want to do. But he's going to critical hit right there, and I won't have the opportunity to do so. Maybe my Roserade can do that. I could also Leech Seed it. Yeah, why not? It's really dangerous that he's spamming Meteor Mash right now because look at that. He just got in a boost to his attack, so he's really, really dangerous right now. He might be able to knock me out with Extreme Speed. Okay, that's nice. I got some good damage in. And the Focus Sash is broken. So my goal here was to have my Hawlucha bring him down to the Focus Sash, and I could knock him out with Mach Punch from my Infernape. Obviously, that did not happen. I'm not going to be switching out my Roserade right here because I don't really want anything else to take a hit. So I'm going to go ahead and send out my Nidoqueen right here, and I should be able to hit it with an Earth Power, maybe? I don't know if I'll live this. Okay, nice, I actually lived. Alright, there you go. And that is the Strongman Samson Gym Leader. Not that bad. So that is, I believe, our 10th gym badge. So you'll have a little cutscene here, and everybody should move on to the mountain. Something I want to note right here is our level cap is still 70. That gym badge does not extend your level cap, but the 70 level cap should be more than enough to actually get you through all this. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this part. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that really helped you out with Samson's gym battle. I think it's one of the tougher gym battles out there. You know, we're currently at a little bit of a curving point where the difficulty is starting to really amp up, and if you don't have a good strategy for Samson, he's just going to clean your clock. And honestly, don't feel any shame about leveling up to the level cap, because he's just that difficult. So if it takes a team of level 70s and you have to start spamming common candies from that point onward to kind of make sure that your Pokemon will still obey you afterwards, that's what it takes. Anyways, catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.